Ready for an English challenge?
Test your vocab. B1 to C1.
Ready for a quick English challenge from Talk About the Talk?
Hello everyone. It's Anna and Paul back with today's vocab quiz. We've got 15 words for you, ranging from B1 all the way up to C1 level.
See the word, pick the meaning, then hear the answer and how we use it.
That's right. And remember our challenge? No 12 out of 15? Your English is excellent. Ready to test yourself? Let's go.
Okay, the first word is manage. Does it mean A, to lead a horse, B, to be in charge of or succeed in doing something, or C, to buy groceries?
Right then. The correct answer is B, to be in charge of or succeed in doing something. Let's hear how that sounds in a typical workplace chat. So, Anna?
Paul, can you manage to finish this report by 3 p.m?
Yes, Anna. I think I can manage that, but it will be tight.
Nice one. Okay, ready for the next word?
Number 2 is task. Is it A, a large elephant's tooth? B, a piece of work to be done? Or C, a type of tea?
Did you get it? It's B, a piece of work to be done. Let's put that into practice. Paul, your turn.
What's the first task on our list today, Anna?
The most important task is to reply to all the client emails.
Simple when you know how. Moving on.
Word number 3, efficient, meaning A, working well without wasting time or energy, B, very old, or C, extremely happy.
And the right one this time is A, working well without wasting time or energy. Let's see it in action, Anna.
We need a more efficient way to organize our files.
I agree. Let's find a system that's quick and efficient.
Exactly. Efficiency is key. Next word, Paul.
Okay, colleague. Is that A, a type of school, B, a person you work with, or C, a collection of items?
Got it. The definition is B, a person you work with. Time for a mini dialogue. Paul?
Anna, have you met our new colleague in the design department?
Not yet, Paul, but I look forward to meeting my new colleague.
Perfect. Last one now for the B1 level.
And it's meeting. Does it mean A, an event where people come together to discuss things, B, the act of cooking meat, or C, a type of shoe?
Yep, the answer we were looking for is A, an event where people come together to discuss things. Here's how you might hear that phrase. Anna?
Don't forget our team meeting at 10 a.m, Paul.
Right, Anna. I've prepared my notes for the meeting.
Okay, that's the B1 section wrapped up. How did everyone find those? Hopefully not too tricky.
Right, time to step it up a gear. Let's move on to the B2 level words. These might make you pause for thought a little longer. First B2 word coming right up.
Number 6, delegate. Is it A, to remove something, B, to assign a task or responsibility to another person, or C, to argue strongly?
And the correct option is B, to assign a task or responsibility to another person. Let's see a typical example. Anna, I have too much work. I need to delegate some tasks.
Good idea, Paul. Who can you reliably delegate the social media updates to?
Very useful word. Delegate. What's next, Anna?
Next is collaborate. Does it mean A, to fall down suddenly, B, to work together with others on a project, or C, to collect stamps?
That's right, it's option B. To work together with others on a project. Always good to collaborate. Let's hear an example. Anna?
I think we should collaborate with the marketing team on this campaign.
Yes, it's always beneficial to collaborate and share ideas.
Absolutely. Okay, word number 8.
Objective. Is it A, something you aim for or try to achieve? B, an opinion based on feelings? Or C, an unpleasant person?
And the answer is A, something you aim for or try to achieve. Let's have a quick dialogue example. Paul?
What is the main objective of this project, Anna?
Our primary objective, Paul, is to increase user engagement by 20%.
Clear objectives are important. Nearly there with B2.
Number 9 is feedback. Is it A, food for animals, B, information or opinions about something, used for improvement, or C, a backward step?
Got it? The one you want is B, information or opinions about something used for improvement. Let's hear how we ask for feedback. Anna?
Paul, could you give me some feedback on my presentation draft?
Of course, Anna. Constructive feedback is always helpful.
Always good to get feedback. Last B2 word now.
And it's prioritise, meaning A, to win a prize, B, to decide which tasks are most important and do them first, or C, to make something private.
Yep, the definition is B, to decide which tasks are most important and do them first. Let's listen to a quick exchange. Paul?
With so many deadlines, Anna, we really need to prioritise.
You're right, Paul. Let's prioritise the client's order first.
And B2 level completed. 10 words down, only 5 more advanced ones to go. How's everyone doing out there?
Okay, deep breaths. Now for the C1 selection. These words really show a high level of English proficiency. Don't worry if you don't know them all. That's what learning is for. Ready for the first C1 challenge?
First up at C1, streamline. Does it mean A, to make a process simpler and more effective, B, a small river, or C, to draw lines on paper?
And the correct meaning is A, to make a process simpler and more effective. A very useful business word. Let's see an example. So, we need to streamline our workflow to save time.
Agreed, Anna. How can we streamline the approval process?
Good one. Streamlining is always helpful. Next.
Number 12, benchmark. Is it A, a seat in a park, B, a standard used for comparison, or C, to mark a book?
Did you spot the right one? It's B, a standard used for comparison. Let's hear that in a question. Paul?
What's the industry benchmark for customer satisfaction, Anna?
Let's research the latest benchmark reports to see how we compare.
Always good to know the benchmark. 3 left.
Okay. Stakeholder. Is this A, someone who holds wooden posts? B, a person or group with an interest or concern in something, like a business? Or C, a type of beef meal?
The answer we need is B, a person or group with an interest or concern in something like a business. Let's hear that in context. Anna?
We need to consider the opinions of all key stakeholders.
Yes, Anna. Let's arrange a meeting with every important stakeholder.
Very important word in business. 2 to go.
Next. Oversight. Is it A, the ability to see in the dock, B, a company's total number of employees, or C, supervision and management responsibility?
The correct answer is C, supervision and management responsibility. Let's hear an example. Paul?
Who has oversight of the budget for this project, Anna?
The finance department has direct oversight, Paul.
Excellent. Last word of the quiz. Fingers crossed.
And finally, liaise. Does it mean A, to tell lies, B, to cooperate and exchange information with someone, or C, to feel lazy?
And the final correct answer is B, to cooperate and exchange information with someone. Let's wrap up with one last example. Anna?
Paul, could you liaise with the technical team about the website issue?
Sure, Anna. I'll liaise with them first thing tomorrow morning. And that's all 15 words. Phew! How many did you get right, everyone? Was it over 12? Fantastic work if so.
Absolutely. And don't worry if not. Keep practicing these words. Seeing them in context helps so much. And remember, every little helps.
Definitely. We hope you enjoyed this vocab challenge. Like and subscribe for more quizzes and lessons from Talk About the Talk.
Bye for now, everyone. Keep learning and keep practicing.
Cheerio! Fred's speeches always take off like wildfire.
Paul said that he'd ended up reciting pizza menus in actual Italian, which shows an unplanned final outcome. We've actually managed it, Paul. I was convinced we'd run out of crisps by mistake again. Plus, Fred's speech is being written on a napkin. According to him, it's based on warrior wisdom.
Fred's speeches always take off like wildfire. Check out David's honey cakes, though. They're disappearing faster than last year's budget. He's absolutely cracked it. Did you know he was teaching Italian by accident in the break room? I ended up reciting pizza menus in actual Italian.
Classic David. How's your mum getting along with her new puppy? Last time we chatted, she was looking after that cheeky spaniel.
She's full of beans, just like the dog. I've been dealing with daily photos of them blowing off steam in the park. Make sure you can make it for Sunday roast. We're gonna need your expertise on Yorkshire puddings.
As long as we don't set off another gravy debate. Last time, Gran was knackered from listening to us argue about lump-free sauces.
Fair. Anyway, how's your sister? She's been out of work for weeks. Must be fed up.
Actually, she's taking part in a bakery course. In advance, I warned her not to give up. Now she's loaded with orders. We're all in the same boat, though. I've been putting off my tax forms for months.
Tell me about it. I'm dealing with Fred's Viking Metrics spreadsheet. It's cost a fortune in coffee just to carry on. By the way, fancy hanging out Friday? Let's go with the flow. Cinema, curry, no faffing.
Sounds mint. Looking forward to it. Just don't order the Vindaloo on purpose again. My stomach's still recovering.
Deal. Oh, check out Fred's throne. It's been over an hour and he's still explaining Brand Valhalla to the interns.
He's just blowing off steam. According to HR, he was done in after that client call yesterday. Let's go with the flow. In another 10 minutes, David's going to start his Roman marketing hacks speech.
Fred's spreadsheets better be over soon. And David, the only bloke who'd base a campaign on first-century gladiator hashtags, bread, circuses and retweets.
Surviving Mondays as well as Viking parties. We've cracked it. Hi everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Talk About the Talk, the Melody Minds language podcast, where we break down expressions from everyday scenes and help you master real-life English. I'm Anna, and here's Paul.
Hello everyone. Today we're dissecting our chat from Frank's party. Frank's party? Who's Frank? Blimey, Paul. We've been practicing this podcast for a week. You've really mucked it up now, haven't you? And you, our lovely audience, got the bug? More like lost the plot. Right. Fred's party. Frank? No clue who that is. Must have been a proper brain fart. That lively night when we used loads of British idioms and expressions. If you follow along, you'll soon be able to use these phrases naturally in your own conversations.
Let's start with one of the basics. Run out of. I mentioned that I'd been convinced we'd run out of crisps by mistake again. You could also say we'd used up all the snacks. For example, you might say you ran out of milk by mistake and couldn't make tea. Also, another way to express it is that your cupboard's been completely used up.
Right. And then there's set off. As in when Anna joked that we shouldn't set off another gravy debate, meaning we shouldn't trigger an argument. Alternatively, you might say we should avoid starting another argument over the best way to make gravy. For instance, if we set off an argument about the gravy recipe, everyone would get stressed.
Speaking of triggering things, we also used take off. Paul mentioned that Fred's speeches always took off like wildfire. Take off means something becomes popular very quickly. You could also say they went viral. For example, her video took off after she posted it on social media. Alternatively, you might say that new meme went viral overnight, after it was shared on Twitter.
And don't forget, check out. I said you should check out David's honey cakes because they were disappearing faster than last year's budget, which means to have a look at them or investigate their success. You might also say to take a look at David's cakes. For instance, you should check out that new gadget. It's amazing. Alternatively, you could say to have a gander at David's cakes.
Exactly. Now, look after is another one we used. When I asked Paul how his mum was getting along with her new puppy, I was referring to her looking after, or taking care of, the dog. You could simply say take care of instead. For example, could you look after my plants while I'm away? Alternatively, you might say you always take care of your little brother when mum's at work.
And then we had some fun with blow off steam. Anna mentioned that Fred was just blowing off steam, meaning he was releasing his stress. For example, after a long day, you might like to blow off steam by going for a run. Alternatively, you could say you like to unwind after work. For example, you unwind by listening to your favourite tunes in the evening.
Right. Moving on. We used put off when talking about procrastinating on our tax forms. I said that I'd been putting off my tax forms for months, which means to delay or postpone. You could also say you keep delaying your tax forms. For example, you put off doing your homework until the last minute. Alternatively, she keeps postponing her dentist appointment until it's too late.
And then there's carry on. I mentioned that Fred's spreadsheet had cost a fortune in coffee just to carry on, meaning to continue despite challenges. You could also say keep going. For instance, even when things are tough, you've got to carry on. Alternatively, you might say, no matter what happens, just keep on going and you'll eventually succeed.
Don't forget end up. Paul said that he'd ended up reciting pizza menus in actual Italian, which shows an unplanned final outcome. Alternatively, you might say you wound up reciting. For example, you ended up staying home all weekend. Alternatively, he wound up losing his keys after the party.
Now, get along with is key in social situations. Anna asked how my mum was getting along with our new puppy, meaning how well they were doing together. The British equivalent is get on with. For example, do your colleagues get on with the new manager? In very casual conversations, Brits might shorten it to just get on, like asking do they get on. But the full phrase is always get on with when you want to be clear.
Switching gears to our more modern lingo. Hang out. Paul suggested hanging out on Friday with no faffing, meaning to spend casual time together without wasting time. You could also say chill out. For example, we're going to hang out at the pub later. Alternatively, after work, let's just chill out at the park.
And then there's look forward to. Anna said she was looking forward to it, which means being excited about something coming up. Another way is can't wait for. For instance, you look forward to the weekend every week. Alternatively, you can't wait for your holiday next month. It's going to be brilliant.
We used cost a fortune when Paul joked that Fred's spreadsheet had cost a fortune in coffee just to carry on, meaning it turned out to be extremely expensive. Alternatively, you might say cost an arm and a leg. For example, that designer bag costs a fortune. Alternatively, that new car costs an arm and a leg. It's way too expensive.
And don't forget, in the same boat. Anna mentioned that she was in the same boat. She had been putting off her tax forms for months while her sister was swamped with bakery orders. That means they were both facing similar challenges. Alternatively, you could say we're all in this together. For example, we're all in the same boat when it comes to handling endless paperwork. Alternatively, we're all in this together when it comes to managing our budgets.
Lastly, a quick word on give up. I said not to give up, meaning don't stop trying. Another option is keep going. For example, even when it's hard, keep going and don't give up on your dreams. Alternatively, when the going gets tough, Keep going until you succeed.
Just to add a bit of British flavour, we mentioned expressions like full of beans to describe someone energetic and faff to mean wasting time. These expressions are part of everyday lingo, and if you use them correctly, you'll sound very natural.
Exactly. And we even talked about how being loaded can mean being busy, not just wealthy. For instance, if someone says they're loaded with orders, it means they've got many orders to fill. Alternatively, you might say swamped, like, after the sale, the shop was swamped with customers. Alternatively, after the event, the cafe was swamped with orders.
Our chat is meant to be a fun way for you to practice not only these expressions, but also different grammatical structures like reported speech and if clauses. If you'd listened to our party banter, you'd have heard a mix of past, present and future tenses all woven together naturally.
That's right. And remember, if you regularly follow our new videos and practice the expressions by writing, speaking, and even singing along with our songs, your English will improve noticeably. Our free online PDF quizzes and tasks will help you drill these phrases even further.
Cheerio for now. And remember, don't give up. Whether you're out of work or just in need of a kip, you've actually got this.
Thank you for joining us on this first episode of Talk About the Talk. We hope our breakdown of these expressions makes your learning journey a bit easier and a lot more fun. Stay tuned for more episodes where we dive deeper into everyday English with Melody Minds Languages.
Goodbye, everyone. And remember, keep practicing and we'll see you next time.
I'm just trying to keep morale up.
Don't learn words in isolation. Always think in context.
Oh yes, we love sarcasm, but to be fair, who doesn't?
All right, Fred. Happy birthday, mate. Still allowed to call it a party after HR slashed the celebration budget by 30%. Heard you nearly had a meltdown, plus the interns still haven't recovered from the devastating news. Haha.
All right. Don't blame me. Between Dave's gladiator campaign obsession and your mum's daily puppy spam, I'm just trying to keep morale up. However, how was your weekend? Still arguing with Anna about gravy?
Went abroad to Barcelona with Anna. By mistake, we ended up in this karaoke bar. So she belted out popular songs out loud, badly. And Fred, how's your gym routine going lately? Still aiming for that marathon?
Mate, hit the nail on the head. I'm achieving progress. Imagine, even ran 10 miles every day last week. I know, when pigs fly, I'll win the marathon and swap spreadsheets for running shoes full-time. Ha ha ha. But still, I love it. Keeps me strong and motivated.
To be fair, I always say, you can't judge a book by its cover. I mean, nobody could imagine you as a marathon runner. And still, look at you. However, speaking of company matters, I try to act like I accept HR's decisions, but this time, blaming you for the campaign delay? It's a joke. I found out the CEO's already twisted the numbers to save face.
Yep, it's ridiculous. I know, Anna was cut up about it too. She hasn't gotten used to this kind of cruelty from the CEO yet. Either way, I'll beat them at their own game. Don't worry. I've already reported this to the union. They won't win, no matter what. The situation calls for prompt action. Beyond that, I'm approving consequences only if they're fair to everyone.
Oh, brilliant. You've already handled it. Cheers, mate. I appreciate your cool head. Just, don't let them damage your reputation. By the way, Anna's right. Our team's stronger than their nonsense.
Exactly. Approving consequences if they're fair. It is my ideology. From today, we should focus on results. Doesn't matter what.
You're absolutely right. Let's hope HR makes our day and announces a new coffee machine first thing Monday. It's the least they could do, or else the team will get up and revolt faster than Dave can say gladiator hashtags. So, what do you think after next week's horror show at the company? Fancy a pint Friday? Or will your mood depend on the CEO's behaviour?
I'd love to, but actually, I'll approve my Viking retreat abroad. You know, camping in Finland. I'm leaving Friday evening, so I'll have to pass on that pint for now. Guess what? Even Dave's fond of the idea. So, I reckon he'll join me in his Roman toga. Huh. Speak of the devil.
Fred, it just came to mind. Please, get rid of that dodgy coffee machine. I heard Anna's already tagged HR staff by name in the complaints channel. She claims it's a fire hazard and a crime against caffeine. Can't say I disagree, mate.
Yeah, you're totally right, Dave. But maybe we also should get rid of this company topic. It's just totally sad that we have to beg for everything. Let's focus on your special day, Fred. Above all, let's find out if this pizza's edible. Smells like Dave got back from Rome with leftovers. Yummy.
Hi everyone. Welcome to Melody Minds Language and our Talk About the Talk podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Paul. Today, we're dissecting Fred's birthday party, including HR drama and gym goals. Grab a cuppa and let's dive into the real-life expressions.
We'll teach you how to learn in context, share free resources, and even explain why Fred thinks pigs might not fly.
Okay, just in case, let's translate Anna's last sentence. It means Fred's full-time marathon dream is staying in Fantasyland, right next to flying pigs. However, I've got important advice for you. Here's a golden rule of language learning. Don't learn words in isolation, always think in context. For instance, think of when Fred mentioned that HR slashed the celebration budget. Slashed means to cut something drastically. But you'll want to pair it with words like budget, prices, or jobs to sound natural. Think of slash costs in a supermarket or slash staff at a workplace.
Exactly. Learn phrases like keep morale up or campaign delay as complete chunks. Your brain remembers stories, not random words. And I promise we'll lend a hand to support you throughout your learning journey.
And you'll remember them forever. Just stay consistent. Listen to and watch English content every day. And make sure to practice whenever you can. Do this and your progress will be remarkable very soon. Okay, my friends, let's jump in.
Now let's tackle devastating news. When Fred said HR slashed the budget, that was devastating news, meaning extremely upsetting or shocking information. You could also say soul-crushing or heartbreaking for serious or not-so-serious incidents. For example, I heard soul-crushing news lately. Alternatively, you might say, it's heartbreaking news when your flight gets cancelled last minute.
Up next, trying to keep morale up. Fred used this to mean maintaining team spirit or motivation. Let me see the synonyms. So, here are boost spirits or keep everyone upbeat. For example, additional benefits and perks keep everyone upbeat. Or playing music at work boosts spirits during busy seasons.
Now let's talk about obsession, but not the creepy kind. Fred's gym routine isn't unhealthy, but many Brits do have harmless obsessions. Tea for one, the average Brit drinks 876 cups a year. Fascinating. Or queuing will form orderly lines for anything, even at parties. Interesting, right?
Yeah, amusing facts. However, remember how we ended up at that karaoke bar in Barcelona? Ended up means arriving somewhere unexpectedly. Classic British example. We meant to visit the tape but ended up down the pub all day.
Now, Fred's aiming for that marathon, meaning he's dead set on that goal. You might also hear Brits say working toward a promotion at work or gunning for the sales record if they're feeling competitive. Me? I'm just shooting for walking 5 miles daily. Baby steps, yeah?
Yeah, those actually are And this brings us to Fred's when pigs fly comment about quitting his job to run full-time. This idiom reflects British sarcasm. We love humorously exaggerated pessimism. Like, I'll clean my flat when pigs fly, or when pigs fly, the tube will be air-conditioned.
Oh, yes, we love sarcasm. But to be fair, who doesn't? Right, let's go on. Here's this lovely idiom. Can't judge a book by its cover. That we use constantly. For example, that posh banker, he volunteers at a cat shelter, so never judge. It reflects a very British value, assuming humility over appearances.
Now let's talk a little about company matters. Here's Fred's whole HR situation. This phrase just means anything related to business operations, not necessarily problems. You might hear, we need to discuss some company matters before talking about budgets, promotions, or even office parties. For formal settings, try organisational matters, like, these organisational matters require attention. And if it's just general office life, workplace matters works perfectly. For instance, how do we handle workplace matters like remote working? See?
Yes, I see. Cheers, Paul. And then we had this awful situation where the CEO twisted numbers to save face. You know, trying to avoid embarrassment when things go wrong. We've all done it, like when you blame the printer for a mistake instead of admitting it was you, when someone laughs it off after tripping in public. Other ways to say it, you might avoid embarrassment, maintain dignity, or keep up appearances, though that last one suggests things might not be as perfect as they seem.
And you know, when Fred said Anna had been cut up about the CEO's decision, he meant it cut her deeply. Like when you work your socks off on a project, only to have it criticised without explanation. Brits don't often show hurt, but Anna's face said it all. And she hasn't gotten used to this treatment. That present perfect tense tells us the hurt started in the past and still stings now. Like how you'd say, I haven't gotten used to colleagues taking credit for my work after months of it happening.
Yes, those poor things. But Fred, he's not backing down. I'll beat them at their own game means fighting back with their tactics. It's what small shops do when competing with big chains. Match their prices but with better service.
Spot on, Anna, and he's right. The situation calls for prompt action. The formal phrase demonstrates workplace tension. Imagine a manager saying, we must address this promptly through gritted teeth during a crisis meeting. The translation is, fix this now or someone will pay the price.
Yes, awful. Thank goodness Fred kept a cool head, so he stayed calm as a cucumber. Brits pride themselves on that, but between us, even the steadiest souls mutter for Pete's sake in the loo afterwards.
Yep, that's so us. By the way, you know what makes my day? When the office biscuit tin magically refills itself. Yummy. That phrase means something that brings sudden joy, like when a stranger pays for your coffee, or your boss says, leave early today. Brits adore these little wins, because let's be honest, we endure a lot of drizzle and delayed trains.
True. But if they cancel Tea Tuesday again, there'll be a full revolt against management, though British revolts are polite. Just think of the strongly worded emails signed, kind regards. It is the art form of passive aggression.
Certainly. Which reminds me, Anna, fancy a pint Friday? That's our casual way of saying pub after work. And a fascinating fun fact again, we often drop verbs in invites. Fancy dinner means, shall we get dinner? It's not laziness. It's a linguistic efficiency.
Yep, but Paul, guess what? That's our version of, wait till you hear this. Perfect for gossip like, guess what, Dave wore his toga to the meeting. Or announcements for good news. Guess what? HR approved the new training budget.
And if you remember, Fred mentioned Dave was fond of the idea of a Viking retreat. Fond of means likes the idea of, like being fond of rainy bank holidays.
And when Fred said, I reckon he'll join me, that's pure British speculation. I reckon means I think, but sounds wiser. Like I reckon it'll rain by 3 p.m. Or, I reckon the meeting could have been an email. It just wasted my quality time.
Yeah, typical. And what about the idiom, speak of the devil? Well, we say this when someone appears mid-conversation, like, speak of the devil. It's HR with more good news.
When an idea comes to mind, it pops up suddenly, like remembering mid-meeting you left the kettle on. Fancy alternatives? We also have the phrase, it struck me, for light bulb moments, like, it struck me that we have no coffee. Or, it occurred to me, for polite suggestions, for example, it occurred to me we might need more tea bags.
Yeah. However, we must get rid of that dodgy coffee machine first. Get rid of means to remove or throw out, such as in, let's get rid of these spreadsheets, or please throw out that mouldy sandwich. That is pretty disgusting. And that brings us to the close of another jolly round of chat, dear listeners. Remember, our banter isn't just about sharing quirky expressions. It's about blending grammar with life's little adventures, from casual banter to deep conversation.
Exactly, Paul. Just keep watching and listening to our episodes repeatedly and try to mimic the expressions right after us. Then, weave them into your daily routine, write about your life, and tie those expressions to your own emotions and experiences. And remember, we have always got some free gifts to give your progress a real boost. Just take a gander at the description box for the full scoop.
Absolutely. In the words of Winston Churchill, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Keep that in mind as you practice and perfect your language skills.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Talk About the Talk. We hope our playful dive into British expressions makes your learning journey not only easier, but a whole lot more fun.
Goodbye for now, everyone. Stay curious, keep practicing, and we'll see you next time with more spirited conversation.
Cheerio, and remember, every little step brings you closer to fluency.